Before looking at our examples, let's take a look at the key concept here on page 740. Volume of a rectangular prism is the product of its length times its width times its height. So we're used to seeing area, which is length times width. Now we're going to be adding in that third dimension because we're working with three-dimensional figures. So length times width times height. So most commonly, volume is written as volume equals length times width times height. The V is a capital V, but the L, W, and H are all lowercase. Or it's written like this: V equals B times H, and notice that's a capital B, which is new from what we've seen. So that capital B actually means the area of the base, and we're going to look at that further, a little bit further down, but let's continue to read here. So a three-dimensional figure has the length, the width, and the height, which we said. A prism is a three-dimensional figure with two parallel bases that are congruent polygons. So it can be all kinds of different polygons, but here we're going to be looking at rectangular prisms. So the bases are going to be rectangles. They're going to be congruent rectangles, which you can see here in this diagram. Volume is the amount of space inside a three-dimensional figure. It's measured in cubic units, which can be written using the abbreviation and an exponent of 3, such as units to the third power or inches cubed, is how you would kind of say that. And that's because now, when we saw area, we were doing length times width, so it was like inches times inches, which would make it inches squared. Now we're doing length times width times height, so we're multiplying 3 different types of dimensions, or inches times inches times inches, which is why your unit is now cubed. Decomposing the prism tells you the number of cubes of a given size it will take to fill the prism. The volume of a rectangular prism is related to its dimensions, length, width, and height. So another method is to find the area of the base and multiply it by the height. So essentially what they think of is doing the length times width that you see up here. So length times width will find the area of the base, and then you multiply times the height. And if you kind of think about it that way, that's when they write the formula like this: V equals capital B times H. So that capital B is actually standing for the area of the base.